Peace. What's good, family? It has been a very eventful week so far in terms of the writing process, not everyday life. Life has actually been pretty chill. But I would not be making a video right now. Well, I would be. I make other videos. I would not be making this particular video right now if I did not reach 25,000 words. That was the promise. I don't know if there's other things to go into that too. Maybe my paper for class, or it's probably written here somewhere. The insurmountable work that I've given myself. But I found as I get more focused on trying to reach 50,000 words, the other projects that I wanted to get done this month have kind of just fallen to the wayside. And that's fine because I can do them both next month, and I will not feel bad about that whatsoever. So recording Divine Intercession would probably be a nice little holiday thing anyway, and transcribing for the King of Gaia. If I get those both done next month, I don't feel bad. But this is my only opportunity to do NaNoWriMo until next year. So one of the major things that I follow and I tell people about. There's a lot of major things. I don't even like using that kind of like phrasing. One of the most major things. I'm trying to use rhetoric to persuade you to my side and give you some exposition. Teach you some shit. But you know, now it's just a thing. You can use it. You cannot use it. I don't do it all the fucking time. No. I'm literally struggling with it right now, and that's the idea of prioritization. So those are the three things I want to get done. I want to write 50,000 words. I want to record my audiobook, and I want to transcribe these 100 pages that I have sitting next to me, that I've had sitting next to me for like maybe over a year, maybe less than a year. I don't know when I wrote it. I don't remember. I didn't put a date on it. I wish I did. Those are three major, but these are three major tasks to do. You know, Divine Intercession is a relatively short book. I don't know if I have a copy. I don't. I gotta fix that. But it's a relatively short book. And, I didn't really think it would be as hard as it was. But voice acting is a huge strain on, like, your vocal cords. It's like a major exercise. And a lot of this work, a lot of this simply because it's not just weightlifting or bodybuilding or whatever, it's still like work. Even though it's not coal mining, it's still work, and it does take a different type of strain on your body physically and a much different strain upon your mind than other tasks might do, which is what I like. I enjoy that. But priorities are that November being National Novel Writing Month definitely supersedes the book that I've waited for a year to type and the audiobook that I've recorded twice already. This would be the third time recording this exact audiobook because the first time I recorded it was Facebook Live. The second time, I don't know what the hell happened to those files. I don't know. I thought I had them. I thought I had them, but I have no idea where those files are. So this is my third time recording that book. And this is my first time ever writing these 50,000 words, not 50,000 words, but this book that I'm working on that, if you remember from the first video, like I didn't even know what the fuck I was going to write. I had no fucking idea what the project was even going to be. I had no idea. I just knew 50,000 words. And then I got sick for a week. I didn't write. I don't think I wrote at all from the 11th to the 15th. If I did, it was very sparingly. I might have like inched over 10,000 words or 15,000 words. And then like I did not feel good, man. I did not feel good at all. But this week I've been making up for that. And now we're at 25,000. But it's the 21st. And there's only like 10 days left, like 9 to 10 days left, I think, including today. Including today, that is 10 days left. So I have to write at least 2,500 words every day until the 30th. And, the difficulty in that is not actually writing 2,500 words 10 times. I think it's really just the discipline of only writing 2,500 words every day. Because what ends up happening usually is that you'll have a really good day. You'll write 5K. You put 5K down. And then the next day, the juices aren't flowing the same. And now you might have like 500 words, 10K, like maybe 1,000 words. And now you feel bad because you didn't write that. So now you try to overcompensate the next day, but now you're forcing it. So now you can't get it up. So you might stick to the same 500, 1,000 words. And then by the next day, because you're comparing everything to the 5,000 words that you wrote. Now you're 3 days at 5,000, 500 to 1,000, 500 to 1,000. So liberally, you might be at like 7,000 words. But now you're in a 500 word deficit, you know? So you put yourself back 500 words by doing so much on the first day, getting in your feelings for 2 days. This isn't what I did. This is just an assumption of what the creative process is like for y'all. Because I hear it in class all the time now. And now it's the fourth day, and you either gotta nut up, you know, and put up 3K to catch up with your schedule. I mean, I guess this is kind of what I was going through a little bit. This is kind of what I was like, not those specific numbers at all, but like the process, yeah, like this definitely was like literally just the fucking process that I went through. Not exactly, not per se, not like to the T of what I'm saying. 'Cause I'm just making this shit up on the top of my head. That specific scenario, I'm just making it up. But yeah, that's kind of what it felt like this week. Trying to like write and get to like 25,000 words was like, I'm gonna get there somehow. I gotta make it somehow. And then that's the fourth day. You either gotta write 3K words, write 2.5K like you said you were gonna do, and just get on schedule. Just get on schedule. And then you could break up 100 words a day over the next 5 days or so, but like, get on schedule. Or you stay in your feelings and your bullshit, you might write 500, 1,000, you know? You might tell yourself that's okay, Maybe I don't have to write 50,000 words. It's still, how people like with body shaming and shit like that, people are always like, well, my body, my choice, I can look however the fuck I want to look. Yeah, it's good. You can look however you want to look, but that does not prevent other people from telling you that you're fat, as my son reminds me. You might think you look great, Dad, but to me, you look fat. So you got to take that on, man. Like, you got to work out. You got to exercise. You got to get in good shape. You can't make, like, these bullshit excuses for yourself. Especially if you're taking a major risk already. You can't add to the risk by, like, not putting forth the work and effort needed to succeed in what the fuck you're trying to do, You got to work out. Like, maybe you do look the way that you look. Maybe you do genetically just look that way. That doesn't mean that you can't be healthy. That doesn't mean that you can't be fit. It means that you can't like fucking do something. Don't just let your body just completely fall apart fucking completely to the point that it's completely unmanageable. When you're getting hurt trying to tie your shoes, you're getting hurt trying to get ready in the morning. Don't put yourself in that situation. So the fifth day now, you had a choice on the fourth day. You have 3 options. I'm not going to keep doing this math with you because I write books. Maybe I'll do the math on paper. If someone's following along with a calculator or some shit like that, then I'll do it on paper. I'll put it on my school notes too. Like this is a 2-for-1 right now, baby. This is a 2-for-1 for real. Okay, put this in my notes for class. Apply it to some businessy shit. I don't know. I'll figure it out. The first day you wrote 5K. Day two, 500 to 1,000. Day three, 500 to 1,000. I'm just not one of those people that can keep like a bunch of numbers in their head and manage it. I'm a writer. I put all that stuff out. I get rid of it. I say it so I don't gotta remember it. And then I don't gotta remember anything because I told people the truth the first time. 5K, 2.5, or 500 to 1,000. I'm also gonna add an option D. Like you might get disheartened. You might write that zero. I had a few days, week. I basically wrote maybe 500, 1,000 words the whole fucking week. Like it's hard to maintain that discipline if you're actually physically sick. But like, I could have did something. I had it in my mind. Like you should write. 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 And I did like a little bit here and there, but like I still also just wasn't really. What I ended up doing was rewriting my outline, working on the outline first and foremost. Reworking on the outline, and then just kind of like orchestrating and thinking about different ideas for a few days. That's also a part of the creative. You need time to also think and to process. So I'm not just gonna put zero. I'm gonna put zero and brainstorming. You know, because even when you're not writing, you're still working on the process of writing and authorship, because like if you're thinking about it, you're still putting forth that mental work and that mental energy to formulate how you need to get things done. If you don't know what the fuck you're doing, just moving about and doing random shit is not going to put you in a better situation whatsoever. It might actually set you back as well. And it's going to eat up a lot of your time and energy that you could have spent doing the right thing or just resting and recovering to do the right thing. Rather than just doing whatever the fuck you want to do or just doing whatever the fuck. You save your energy to do what is actually fucking needed. So just because you're not writing doesn't mean that you're not working on this. You're not physically working and executing or doing anything like actually fucking useful. It's gonna help you. You're not doing anything actually fucking productive. But you can tell yourself, you have my permission to tell yourself, thinking about your writing is still working on your writing. You have my permission to do that. Because if you're genuinely thinking like and using your brain to formulate solutions and options and actually thinking about what you want to write, what you don't want to write, running scenarios in your head, talking to your characters maybe, I don't know what you do. I still consider that a very important part of the creative process. So I put brainstorming. If you are actually brainstorming, that is useful. If you're just thinking about how you need to be writing and how you need to be writing and how you need to be writing, that's a useless fucking process. That's a useless uses of time in your brain. You'd be better off just completely removing yourself from the topic of writing and everything entirely and just focus somewhere else for a day or two, then, in this scenario, I would probably recommend that to this person. Day two, day three, maybe if you wrote 5K on day one, maybe day two, you could have just took a break. And then day three, you could have wrote 2.5 to 5K and put that as your mark. Took a break, if you treat this, because my original thing was like poetry, but primarily like weightlifting, and I see like the metrics of weightlifting and like finance and business, all this other kind of shit. But if you treat this like you're doing like an actual fucking thing that matters, not just, oh, I like creating things. It's like, okay, like, but you're making a product at the end of the day. It's an art piece and that's beautiful, but you're making a product that someone's going to buy, and you want them to have zero buyer's remorse. You actually want them to have the opposite of remorse. You want them to feel as if there's like a genuine benefit to buying your work. There is no deficit. There is not going to be, oh, well, yeah, I was just trying to support an author. Yeah, you want them to actually read the shit, be happy that they bought it. You don't want people buying your shit because they feel bad for you. People that have like a fucking sob story and all this kind of shit. People want an overcomer. They want like a fucking underdog. They want someone who's like Rocky fucking Marciano or Rocky Balboa. They want someone like that. You know. Even though Mike Tyson lost, Mike Tyson still went the fuck out there and did it. There's a lot of people that would not fight Jake Paul. They wouldn't risk it. And it's the credit to Jake Paul, but like Mike Tyson still went out there and did it. That's what people like. That's why people want to sue Netflix. That's why people are upset and they're angry, because it's like, he went out there and did his thing, and it's y'all just fucking around. Like, if you knew he was hurt and you knew he was injured, you could have probably postponed the fight. Jake Paul was also hurt. You probably could have also postponed the fight. The pre-fight hype was more interesting than the fight. I would have took another month of fucking. You could have did this on Christmas Day, and we would have watched it with our fucking families and shit on Christmas. Like, you could have postponed the fight a little bit. So I'm just saying, like, don't be in this, because that's a lot. I've seen a lot of people just quit. Like, I've had a friend take his own life. That was very hard, very difficult to like process and deal with. It still is to this fucking day. I won't even lie to you. Like, the idea of talking to someone and then the next week they're not there because they took their own life. Like, it's like, and you would never fucking see it. You would never fucking imagine it. And it's like, it's such a weird fucking concept to fucking deal with. Death within itself, but also just like, people feeling that way. It's like they feel so bad doing something they enjoy that they love, and the people around them just like fuck with them, and they have no place to go. But you have like your writing to go to, at least. You have like books and stuff, reading. Some people do TV shows and whatnot. But I feel like the fact that so much of your imagination is already taken up by the director, the person trying to control your mind essentially, you lose the sense of just kind of creating this own world for yourself as you do with writing. That's why I may not give all my characters a lot of description. That's why I may not give like every single scene like if it's the imagery is important, I'm capable of writing prose and vivid imagery. I was told a very long time ago, this is like high school maybe, that it seems like prodigious, you know, directly to me. Like, the way the teacher like talks to the classroom, but that they're fucking talking to you. If one day you're a famous writer and you are selling books, then you can have your own style and do what you want. Until then, you need to write the way I tell you to write. And I did that. I wrote the way she told me to write. And now I write how the fuck I want to write. Some people get, oh, there's too much dialogue. It's like, yeah, you try writing 50,000 fucking words without talking to somebody. What the fuck is wrong with you people? It's like, it's the people that don't fucking write at all that have the biggest criticisms about books and authors and their choices. It's the people that have never written a fucking book before that have the most to say. Like anything. It's like, it's the fat, out of shape, never played a sport a day in their fucking life guys that want to criticize boxing or bodybuilding or fucking you. Yeah, John Jones is afraid to fight Tom Aspinall. Yeah. Have you fucking seen him? If you put a fucking bear in front of Tom Aspinall, you might need a second bear. The fuck, Tom? He's afraid to fight Tom Aspinall. Mike Tyson said he was afraid before every single fight. George St. Pierre said he hated fighting. It's like, it's the people that don't do the shit that have the, because if you fight and you're good at it, you realize how dangerous it is to get into a fight. And not necessarily physically dangerous to get into a fight. You can end up you are a weapon now. So it's like if two fucking high schoolers get into a fight, it's whatever the fuck, you get into a fight, that's a battery charge now. It's like you are assault with a deadly weapon now. And like you don't want that in your day-to-day life. Even if you're training, it's like you see people get knocked. It doesn't take a lot to knock somebody out. It doesn't take a lot to hurt someone. Boxing matches are like overly drawn out, but the rounds are still only like 2 to 3 minutes. And they might even go 40 minutes. They might even fight for an Iron Man match. They might even go for an hour. But it's a sport, it's a game, and it could end in the first 2 minutes. Most fights end like most fights are as soon as you hit the other person, they're done. As soon as the person feels pain, and that pain wakes you up out of your adrenaline, you feel like the adrenaline's gonna get you through everything and anything. Yeah, maybe until you get smacked in the fucking face, and then now you have to process whether you want to go through that experience again. Your adrenaline might help you to win a fight. It's not because you don't train and you have a mouthful of criticisms. It might, but no, it's probably going to make you just run away faster. It's probably not going to win you the fight. It's probably going to make you turn immediately to whatever your baseline and habits are. So this process is not about I wrote 5,000 words in one day and then the next 3 days I couldn't write shit. Write 2.5K a day and just discipline yourself. Because when you discipline yourself, you fall to your baseline. And your baseline is whatever you've conditioned and set for yourself as acceptable to be. Your habits, your mindset, and you have to mold, you have to shape that, you have to work on that, you have to control that, you got to direct and guide that. You can't just let that be whatever the fuck other people's expectations are, whatever the fuck helps other people. I'm not going to say fuck them, but you can only save yourself. Somebody else's worldviews, their own perspective of life, whatever the hell their goals for life are, that's their problem. That's not your problem. Whatever the fuck they prioritize and find important, what you find important is what's important. Because you're the only person that has to live in your life. That should be something that's in service to humanity, something that helps other people, something that makes life better for the most vulnerable citizens. Yeah, I totally believe that. Human citizens, domestic citizens, yeah, I totally believe in that, man. But and the worst type of human being said it best, but Dan Pena was like, you could do a lot more if you had a lot more. That's essentially what he said. Because Dan Pena doesn't talk that way. Okay, day 5. And then I'm only going to go up to day 5. Then you can basically just replicate that, and that's 10 days. Because if you do 2.5 for 5 days, and you multiply that by 10, by 2, that's 25K. So, but we're just going to organize this haphazard bullshit for a second. I'll basically repeat day 5 is the exact same as day 4. Because every day you're faced with these options. Every day you're faced with doing way too much for this psychological feeling of accomplishment. Or maybe you really genuinely do have to do that much because you bullshitted your time and you waited forever to get the work done. Now you gotta force yourself to write. So you might end up writing 5K, 2.5K. You might do that. You might just stick to the schedule, stick to the plan that you set initially, get back on schedule, and then manage these things later or manage them as you go. If I do 2.5K, if I go back to the original plan that I set, if I go back to the original nutritional plan that I set, okay, I ate a little bit too much yesterday. How can I adjust and adapt the schedule now? Now you might have to write 2.7K a day, you know, but it's better than having not completed your goal. And you might just be stuck on stupid, stuck in your feelings, doing whatever the fuck. You might write 500 to 1,000 words. Set yourself back even further. I looked up the actual rules to NaNoWriMo, and you have to write 50,000 words. Yeah, you have to. You have to. Like I was like, oh man, I don't have to write 50,000 words, 30,000 words, 35,000 words is still a novel. Yeah, kinda novella maybe, kinda, but in reality, it's not. It's 50,000 words. So you have to write the 50,000. So whatever you do under 50,000 words is a failure. And if you take out the chapters, you have to also account for that. That's why a lot of times I'll write over, the 10,000 or over the 5,000 or whatever, because I go chapter, and then the number. Like that's 2 words every chapter that you use. So you got to account for that too. You know what I mean? So any word less than 50,000, and then you got to subtract the chapters from that, is a failure. You ain't make it. You ain't do it. So, but I would say the last one, zero or brainstorm. And if you look up the acronym there for brainstorm, is some bullshit. So the only reason you would be brainstorming on day 5 is because you wrote 5K words on day 4. I mean, if you wrote anything less than 5,000 words on day 4, you shouldn't be writing 0 words. If you already behind, you started this, doing pretty good. By day 3, we're doing this to kind of fix where you're going, because there's only but so many days left. There's only but so many days left. There's only 10 days left. So you take these 5 days, you double it, multiply it. You should be able to get there. Ideally, what I would say would probably be best for you would be writing the 5K and then the next day taking a break entirely. And if you did that off and on, write that to day 1, 5K, day 2. This is just a different schedule. So we did person A already. I'll go over person A one more time real quick. Day 1, you wrote 5K. Day 2, 500 to 1,000. Day 3, 500 to 1,000. This is not good. Person A did it wrong. Day 4, they're not really feeling themselves too much. They don't know. They might have that 5K in them, option A. They might have that 5K in them, and they might write 5,000 words on day 4. And I think that puts them ahead of schedule, actually. Or just kind of like right at schedule, maybe a little bit ahead. They still might need that 5K. I mean, that 500 words, depending on what they did day 2, day 3. But if they wrote 5K day 4, they might be good to go. Day 5, they genuinely don't have the option to write nothing again just because they wrote 5K yesterday. Because they needed to write they needed 5,000 words between day 2, day 3. Writing 5,000 words on day 4 does not make up for that deficit. So that is about 500 to 1,000 words still missing, because between day 2, day 3, they're still missing 500 words. That's what led me to get a piece of paper to actually fucking write this down to begin with. You may not be able to see that Write it down your damn self, man. Replay the video. Write it down. Take notes, man. What the fuck are you doing? I'm not doing this for my health. I'm doing this for you. You know? Day 5, they genuinely do not have the option to write nothing. Because they're first off, they need 2.5 words, 2.5 for the day already off the rip. Every single day they need 2.5. So they don't have the option to write nothing. They don't have the option at this point anymore to write 500 to 1,000 words. Because now, instead of being in a 500 word deficit on day 5, you know, they're going to be in like a 3,000. They're starting day 5 at a 3,000 word deficit. So even if they did write the 2.5K, which would be the right option in this scenario, if they have the 5K in them, God bless, do it. You know, James Patterson said he wrote 6,000 words a day or something like that. If you got the 5K in you after writing 5K the day before, writing 2.5K the day before, you know, you're still at a deficit though. Like the 3,000 word deficit is going off the idea that on day 4 he wrote 5,000 words. If you wrote anything less than 5,000 words on day 4, you know, you see how this like fucks you essentially. And this is going from 25K. This is getting your last 25,000 words in 10 days. So this person goes 5K, 0, 5K, 0, 5K. And that's 15,000 words within 5 days. 2 rest days. So that's like a workout program right there. It's like upper, lower, pull, push, pull, lower, whatever the hell you guys are doing these days. It's kind of like that. And then option C, consistency, is just 2.5K a day. If you play around with this game of, oh, I'm going to write more today and I'm going to write less, you don't know what tomorrow is going to. I did not know I was going to get sick. I had no indication whatsoever prior to that I was going to get sick, that I was going to strain my voice. I had no way of knowing that was going to happen. Contingency, I got better. You know, I did what I could with it, you know. But I genuinely could not have mentally, I could physically prepare for it or whatever. I could, you know, be Batman and have prep time and take my time and understand what's needed to fight for justice, you know. But even that kind of hurt my voice, honestly, you know. But no, just no, just no. So what is within your control is the only thing that you really need to focus on. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Only really focus on what is in your control. Everything else you really have to let go and let God. You can write 2.5K a day. You can write 5K one day, write 0 days the next, or write, you know, 5K across the 2 days. You know, instead of just putting it on you perhaps to write 2.5K a day, you know, option D, I like more than just dichotomy. You know, option D can be like kind of like division. Between every 2 days, you need to produce 5,000 words, essentially, to reach 25,000 words in about 10 days. So I'm doing this also for myself. I guess I am doing this for my health. I guess I am actually doing this for my health. Because this is literally the situation that I find myself in. Because I just wrote the 25,000. I just reached the 25,000. And that was a lot, man. That was a Herculean effort. But now, that took 21 days to write 25,000 words. Whether I was sick or not, it still took 21 days. And the days really flew by, like, very, very quickly. Like, it went by very, very fast. Probably because I was fucking sick. And I just slept for days. I just slept, and it was hard. And my son was off school for a week too, so that was also kind of hard and difficult to write with that and being sick. I promise, if it sounds like excuses, it probably is. I promise you. So 25,000 words in 10 days, including today. So despite just writing reaching 25,000, I had to write about 2,000 to 3,000 words to get to 25,000 today, from last night to today, or I guess maybe this morning to today. So by 12 o'clock tonight, I have to write another 2.5K minimum. And honestly, once you get started, it really is not that bad. The writing, I mean, it's difficult depending how neurotic you are, I would imagine. If you're super neurotic, if you don't write down the bones, if you don't just let yourself creatively go and just flow, you know, it's just going to be difficult. It's just going to be hard. It's hard regardless. It doesn't get easier. You get better at it. That's the point. Everything is hard. Everything is difficult. You get better at it. But Jesus Christ, don't make it harder for yourself than it needs to be. Don't tell yourself you want to write 50,000 words, then take a week off. So I'm not saying I'm smarter than you at all. I'm just saying that if I write as a personal choice and lifestyle, as the primary thing that I do, and the idea of writing like 50,000 words or 25,000 words in 10 days is kind of like a whole thing that I got to make a video about, and it's still a daunting task. Don't make it harder for yourself than it needs to be, you know? And how can you make it easier for yourself? You make it easier for yourself by not getting so much in your head. The great part of writing like a workout program, a nutrition program, or writing out like a workflow schedule is that all you have to do is that, and then you're done. You don't have to write the 5,000 words. You don't got to write 10,000 words in one day. You might if you take a week off or you take 2 weeks off, you know, but get out of your head and just do the thing that you need to get done. And like, you're probably the most privileged person on the fucking planet. Like, you get to write. You don't got to do like other shit that other people have to do. Other people got to do like real fucking things. You get to make believe. Don't complain about that. Get out of your head. Just give yourself a break if you need it. But like, your break can be during the daytime. Your break, you got 24 hours in a day. It might honestly take you only about 30 minutes to an hour to write 2.5K. Maybe, maybe not even that much time. Maybe 2 hours. I don't know. I don't know who you are. I don't know I don't know what your deal is. I don't know what the hell's going on with you. If you're watching this, I don't know what's going on with you, man. Like, you gotta comment or something. You gotta ask questions or something. You gotta put something down or whatever. But like, I don't know. I don't know who you are. I don't know how fast you can write. I don't know any of that about you. I'm not going to say give me your typing speed and I'm going to write out a writing blueprint for you day by day. I guess I could for a sum of money or whatever, but like, that's a lot of work. So it's going to be a little bit of cheddar on your part for real if I ever had to do that for somebody. Calculating how long it's going to take you to write a novel on the basis of your writing speed and giving you a month-long plan, a 30-day plan to write a book, that definitely sounds like an endeavor. So you can do that math yourself. If you want me to do that math for you, it's going to cost you money because I had to write this whole thing down. So that's going to be some work on my part. But it's doable. Like, the month wouldn't exist if it wasn't possible to write 50,000 words in one day. Off the top of my head, I can't tell you. I think it was 2.7 words a day was my original writing schedule. So 2.5K genuinely is not that bad because it seems like I actually took a lot of time off of my schedule. I don't know where I should be right now, but we can calculate that real quick. Divided by three. Oh shit. No, I'm way behind schedule. No, I originally only had to write 1.7K a day. Now I have to write 2.5K a day because I took a week off. 1.7 times 21, 35,000. So I should actually be at 35,000 words today. So I don't have to write 5K, I have to write 10K in a day. I don't think 35,000 words might genuinely be the next time that I make a video on this topic. Because it takes a lot to actually like sit down and write these books. Like it's not, those walks matter, you know. You know, you take a walk or something, you see people and you have like these like those walks matter. You know, those conversations that you have matter. Like the life in between you writing genuinely matters. And it matters far more than just the delusion of busyness, you know. You have to actually complete the task that you're working on. So 35,000 words. Wow, 10,000. So I have to write like 10,000 words as soon as humanly possible. Judging by this thing, it would probably take 3 days or so to write 10,000 words. I only have about today and tomorrow before my week is over. It's the 21st. Tomorrow is Friday the 22nd. My week starts on Saturday. So between today and tomorrow, I don't know. This is like really. I didn't take a nap or something. I did not get a lot of sleep last night to build up to this moment, man. I went to sleep at like 2 or 3 in the morning. I think maybe closer to 3 or so. You know, and I woke up at 7. And that was a hard wake up at 7. I've been up since 7 a.m. 7:20 ish. I was awake at 7:07. You know, I didn't really like process that I was alive until like 7:20. You know, 10K, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. It seems doable. It doesn't seem necessarily impossible, but like I would need to have something very fucking interesting to write 10,000 words in 2 days, and this book just is not that. So whatever the median is, I might just do the 2.5, the 2. I might just steady it out. Because then what? Then what? I write 10,000 words in 2 days to catch up to where I was supposed to already be today. And then I still have 5,000 words that I gotta catch up with. So I actually have to write 15,000 words within 2 days to be on schedule. Or I could write 2.5K a day. So that's basically the whole thing in a full circle. Is just that. Is that, you know, when you mess up, you take time off or whatever, especially for NaNoWriMo, you give yourself a deadline that you have to complete. And whatever unforeseeable event happens, you need to take time off. You can either try to fix everything in one fucking day, which is probably going to be impossible for you. It's probably going to be way harder than you imagine it being. Or you just give yourself a more consistent schedule to follow that is easier to do day to day to day to day to day. You know, me telling you to eat 2,000 calories one day and then the next day eat nothing and the next day eat 1,500 calories, but then after that you're going to eat 2,500 calories and then you're going to eat nothing again. You know, you're going to drive yourself fucking crazy. If I tell you that, hey, you could just eat 1,700 calories a day and you're going to lose fat, you could do that. you can consistently do that, and then you might fluctuate a little bit up, but then you can eat a little less the next day. In this case, write a little bit more the next day. But writing a little bit more, writing an extra 200 words, extra 500 words is nothing compared to having to read and write like an extra like 15 fucking thousand, you know, like Jesus Christ. You can't try to make up for that 1 week's of worth in one day, because then what are you gonna do? You're gonna make yourself actually feel way worse, because you just keep giving yourself these Herculean goals that you're never gonna be able to accomplish, and you're gonna feel bad that you can't accomplish these goals when in reality the work that you needed to do initially was way easier than what you're making it out to be. I only had to write 1.7K words a day. Now I have to write like an extra 800 words a day. So I could do that. I could write like, I might be able to take the interest off that I accrued in that scenario, and I might be able to write like an extra 800 words the day after that. You know, so I write like 3,400, you know, something less than 4,000. I feel like once you get to 4,000 to 5,000, you're just kind of like, you're squeezing the juices out. The creative juices are already yet to flow, and now you're just kind of squeezing the juices out, and it's unnecessary. You don't need to do that. But we reached 25,000 words. I'm going to celebrate a little bit, and then I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to take a nap. I need one for my health. I need one for my health. I need naps to be healthy. I don't need naps. I need naps to not have Alzheimer's when I'm an old fucking man, because I don't get a lot of sleep, you know. So don't be afraid to take a nap. Don't be afraid to take a break, but don't quit. And don't make excuses to do subpar work. That would be my only advice to you. Good luck to you. And I will see you. I don't know. I think I might repeat the whole process because I have to write 25,000 words anyway. So I was thinking about, I might check back with you in about 5K words. And then I'll make another video after another 10,000 words. And then I might just repeat that process, the next 5K words, the next 10K words. Right. It's 30,000. That's more than what I need, isn't it? Huh. Then I might meet back. Oh, wow. I'm actually almost done. You know, when you actually break down the amount of words that you actually have to write left, and you know your writing speed, I think what originally was like 2 days for 5,000 words was, you know, essentially the baseline that I set to begin with in like the second video, I think. It honestly doesn't look that bad, you know. And I might actually get more than 5,000 words is also a possibility too now, you know. So I'll check back in at about 5,000 words or so, because I'm also going through another issue in the story, and that's how to make it fucking interesting for me at least. Like, god damn it, I need a fight scene or something. I need something. This is like, I'm writing this book because I did market research into what sells in the market, and this is what sells. This is what sells. This might be my most successful book. I really do not know. You know, people like my work. I can see it and I appreciate it. But like, Jesus freaking Christ. You know, like I need something for the dudes. So the next 5,000 words that I write is going to be entirely like a fucking dedication to every book I wrote before this. I need at least some fucking, or I need some drama, or I need some fighting or something just for myself. So the next 5,000 words is going to be dedicated to that. Then 10,000 words. That's going to be for the market. After that, it's 10,000. That's 40,000 I'll be at. I'll check in about 5K, 10K words. I don't know, but for the next two videos, I'll check back after I wrote 5,000 more words. That's 30,000. And then I'll check back in after I wrote 10,000 words after that. So it's 40,000. Once I reach 40,000 words, I'll have a better idea of what I want to do with the last 10,000, 15,000 words. Here I wrote 5K, 10K, 5K, 10K. So I'll see what I want to do after that. So I'll see you at about 30,000 words or so, over halfway of the book. But, we're doing it. And if you're following along, you're probably further ahead of me or right where I'm at. But I'm chilling when I do it, so I don't know. If you're stressing yourself out and shit like that, then you're not doing what I'm doing. Cause I'm chill as fuck, bro. But we're doing it. All right, peace out.